It all began 20 years ago in 1992, the centennial of the Sierra Club, when we, the interpreters and ranger naturalists here in Yosemite, decided that we had to somehow honor and celebrate this place and all the many people who have passed through this area. Starting out, or including John Muir and Robert Underwood Johnson, who had one of those famous campfires somewhere near the Soda Springs area, where they sat around and agreed to work together to create a Yosemite National Park. And they were successful in just over 1 year. And that happened here. It was an inspiring place. And then in 1912, word got out that the Macaulay brothers, who built that cabin up there and owned a homestead, 160 acres, originally Lambert Dome, Lambert's claim that extends out into the meadow. Word got out that they were going to sell it. And so individual members of the Sierra Club agreed to put their money together to buy it. They were afraid that it could go to more commercial purposes. And they set up a couple campgrounds and built this lodge just a few years later in 1915. And this lodge was built in honor of Edward Taylor Parsons, a prominent Sierra Club member who worked very hard with John Muir to try to keep it from Hetch Hetchy Valley from being dammed for water and power for San Francisco. And this was designed by Bernard Maybeck, if you're familiar with this architect from, as I said, Bay Area. And he was noted for making buildings that blend in well with the landscape. And this is a beautiful example. Some architect even said it looks almost as if the building grows up out of the ground. It's made of the rock, of the trees, of this very area. This lodge was never intended to be a sleeping place, but rather a place, a mountain headquarters, a reading room, and a gathering place. So, the summer series is a forum for the arts and sciences. It complements the programs that we give as rangers here in Tuolumne Meadows. And the intent is to keep this building, which is now a National Historic Landmark, alive with continued conversation and vibrant ideas about how to be in this world, how to live on this earth. So, this weekend we have 2 programs which I think are a beautiful example of it being a forum for the arts and sciences. We have music today, and tomorrow we have geology with our park geologist, Greg Stock, who is fabulous if you have never met him. And he'll be discussing the geology of this local area at 2 o'clock. So today we have Malcolm Douglas here. He's a hammered dulcimer player, fine musician. I think it's become a tradition now that he is an intrinsic part of our summer series. I can't remember how many years now that he's been part of it, he and his group. And along with him come some other instructors and leaders, Naomi Douglas, his daughter, Joshua Stephen Cardis, Jeff Bellinger, and Rachel Schlafer-Parton. And the singers, our young singers, are from all over the country. He told me a large portion of them this year are from Bloomington, Indiana. And they have spent just a week practicing on the slopes of the Eastern Sierra, and now are giving concerts. This is their final concert. So we're very excited to have them back. He did say it would be about 1 hour and 20 minutes, so a little longer than an hour, just so you're prepared for that. I would like to ask you to please turn off all your cell phones, something I never before ever had to ask. I think it's a good idea just to check. And also, I've just been noticing how extra rocky it seems when you leave the lodge, so just be really careful of your step. So all of this is made possible by the National Park Service, the Yosemite Conservancy, the Laurel Lee Tucker Hiramoto Memorial Fund, the Institute for Law and Systems Research, and Friends of Parsons Lodge, which includes all of you, simply for your presence, if nothing else. We couldn't do this without you. And I also would like to thank the archives, look at your names, Sean, Katie, and Jamie, for coming up to record this event. Something I've been wishing for, to have these programs kept for archival and educational purposes. So thank you all, and Malcolm will carry on
Thank you, Margaret. Such a joy to be back, and I thought since many of you won't be able to see what this instrument is when I start playing it, it's the top and the bottom of a propane tank. We'd like to start off with a processional that we're going to ask you to join in on. The words are very simple from a Wendell Berry poem. Wendell Berry is a poet in North Carolina. Many of you, I'm sure, have heard of him. And the poem is very simple, and it goes along with the theme of this place. It goes like this. Actually, this is the adapted version that we have for the song. Whatever happens, learning to love, we make our way to the lasting world, and from the lasting world, we will never leave. So it's a call and response. So I'll call and you respond, and then if we have enough of a choir in this room, the Oolites will come in and join you. Ooolation people. I think you're ready to sing, am I right? Okay. Whatever happens, learning to love,
learning to love,
whatever happens, learning to love,
learning to love,
whatever happens, learning to love,
learning to love,
make our way to the lasting world,
to lasting world,
make our way to the lasting world,
to lasting world,
make our way to the lasting world,
to lasting world,
make our way